started a live video. I guess I'm just waiting for what's going on. How you doing, Ty? Hopefully well. I am actually in your home state. I'm in Arkansas right now. Arkansas. Searcy, to be exact. But I figured at this particular moment I would jump on since I have nothing to do. I was supposed to be driving right now, but the load that I was supposed to deliver today, I hear you, they didn't give me some delivery number I was supposed to have, so I literally have been sitting here for, what is it, 6:12 right now? I've been sitting here for 5 hours, waiting for this number to come through. They keep talking about some back and forth going on. That's exactly what it is. So I've just been sitting here. I was talking to my lady, just shooting the shit and all that kind of stuff. And then my signal started going out. And so I just started going out for her. So, yeah. And this is on a delivery, not a pickup. So I literally, my next load picks up here. So literally I'm supposed to drop this, grab the other one, and I was supposed to head right out. I was going to be in and out in 30 minutes. But I've been sitting here for 5 hours. So anyway. But so we were talking and my phone started going out for her. So we just got off the phone and I told her I'd call her back. But it looks like my signal is strong. I don't know, why it would be acting weird with her, but I figured I'd jump on here and just kind of stream like I did the last one. I didn't leave it up, but ended up streaming and just talking with my friend Nathaniel about random spiritual stuff and all that. But just right now in a space of creativity, quite frankly. That's where I've been for the last couple of weeks, and where I am right in this moment. I've been pulling away so much from social media, in particular Facebook, because Facebook was my comfort zone. That's where I wrote everything. I used it almost like a diary, just my thoughts. And so, quite frankly, I know how profound my thoughts are. I'm very aware of that. And I realized, in addition to a whole bunch of other stuff, but I realized that I was giving away everything for free. And with all that I receive from Spirit, though I do believe Spirit is free and that, our gifts are meant to be shared, I also believe that the time that I've spent cultivating my gifts, cultivating my connections with my ancestors, cultivating my connections with the different divinities and with Spirit and all of that, should be rewarded. I think that people who put the time in to become great healers or great speakers or great artists or great musicians or great whatever deserve to be compensated for that time. And so I decided I didn't even really decide. It wasn't even a thought. I've just been flowing in my flow and not allowing anything to stop me, and naturally found myself on Patreon posting my stuff and realizing, oh wow, like I'm actually now asking people to energetically exchange with me for what I'm giving them. Kind of like how I was just doing free readings for people until it got tiring. It got to a point where I'm using all of the energy that I cultivate to read this person, but I wasn't getting paid. I was just doing it for free, and I would do it for free if the energetic exchange thing wasn't an issue. And when you're doing something that goes that deep and that profound, it's not, I'm sure you're aware, but it's just not something that you want to, or not something that's easy to do. It's not a small amount of energy that is involved in doing that kind of spiritual work. So, the energy exchange provided a balance. And so now I feel that way with Facebook. That's in addition to definitely my artistry, but that's in addition to also the overall heaviness that comes with looking down my Facebook timeline. And it's for different reasons. In one way, it's heavy because I'm taking on and feeling and absorbing people's energy, and most people are not in a good place or at the kind of frequency that I like to interact with. And so I feel that bringing me down, but then also it's just when I'm looking down my timeline, somebody's talking about what somebody did to them, or somebody's talking about politics, or somebody's talking about, and I've tried so hard, listen, I've tried so hard to manicure, I'll use that word, my timeline and my friends list, to engineer it so that I don't see those kinds of things. I've tried to only befriend certain people that I knew I could get value from, and that were on a similar frequency to mine. But in the process of doing that and having my timeline kind of feed me what I need from those people that I specifically chose, it blessed me to be able to be inspired to write more and all of these kinds of things. To the point where my posts started, because it was becoming so profound, so easy for me to express what Spirit's giving me, that my posts start getting shared more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And it went from 2 shares, 3 shares, those kind of numbers, to, especially with a couple of my poems or prose pieces, 110 shares, and I'm not used to this. So now all of a sudden I got friend requests coming in from shares from my art, from shares from different things that Spirit gives me to say. And I welcome that, not because it's a popularity contest or I need all these followers or anything like that. My friends list used to be 30 people. But I do value what I'm given. I do value my gift, and I do know that it needs to be shared. I do know that I have an aura and a power about me that's going to impact a lot of people. I understand that fundamentally. But at the same time, befriending some of these people has brought quite a bit of energy on my timeline that I just didn't want to see. Opinions, people stating things as fact that are not fact, people posing as spiritual adepts when they're really not. All of that kind of stuff. I've never said that I was an adept, though I know in some ways I am, in some ways I'm not. Some things I was just absolutely born with, and some things I'm completely clueless about in the spiritual realm. And I think we're all like that. We're all masters and novices at some things. But that's beside the point. But just seeing these people on my timeline saying different things or going on and on about politics or with the world and all this kind of stuff, I just had to get away from it, because I don't think so. I know Yoga Trucker Poles was interacting and could hear me, so I hope that's not, yeah. Okay, we should be good. But anyway, it just got to a point where I just had to distance myself in that way as well. And now, even though I know Instagram is owned by Facebook and all that kind of stuff, it's just, I don't have to see everybody's timeline. People can follow me, and I don't have to see their stuff. If people just followed me on Facebook, it'd be different. But whatever. I'm not trying to knock anybody's flow or anything like that. I just need to follow mine, is what I'm saying. But in this process and pulling away, even Instagram, I'm not really on here. Like, I'll post something and then, yeah. But I'll just post something. I don't really scroll on here too much. I just post my story or post on my feed and just get off. I've probably been watching YouTube more than anything as far as social media is concerned. Yeah, absolutely. I had to recreate those boundaries. Because it definitely was, influencing my sacred space or my time that I could be, downloading or channeling or whatever other spiritual stuff I'm doing. So I said all that to say, and like I said, I'm just flowing, so I don't even know how long I'll be on here. But I said all that to say, being off of social media has, for the most part, it gives me that space again to be creative. Not that I didn't have any space, but, if we're all honest, social media eats up a lot of the time we could be using being productive. And I know that I've written about 100 books in my head, and I could have been great in that arena at this point if I didn't have so many distractions. And so I realized, not just with myself, but with others, that we have too many distractions. We have too many things that are keeping us from what we came here to do. quite frankly. We have such deep gifts, and we're born with them. It's our birthright. I was telling my love today, she mentioned something about something as it pertained to magic. And I told her, I said, listen to me. Like, we can't be, like, it's a slap in the face to the stars. It's a slap in the face to our ancestors. It's a slap in the face to all that the forces and beings and consciousness that goes into creating us, forming us in the womb, for us to not be who we were called to be. Yeah, I think we all do. But it's a slap in the face. It's, how offensive is that for those that came before us to pass down genetically, right? Because it's not by chance that we're born with the things we're born with, but for them to pass down genetically these gifts, and even that concept, I'm not even going to go into right now because we'll be all in the quantum somewhere. Yeah, where's the manual? Like, for real. But if I went into that concept right now, we'd be somewhere crazy. But my point, so I don't digress, is maybe we will, who knows. But my point is that for them to leave us what they've left us, and we don't fully become that, or fully embody that, or fully tap into the epigenetically, I should say, transferred gifts of our bloodline, is it's almost a disgrace. It's almost a disgrace. Hey, Brookie. It's almost a disgrace. It's offensive. I know for me, right, with the gifts that I have, if I consciously pass that down to my children in the creation of them, right, and they came out the womb like with the kind of gifts that I have, but more so, oh, I would be mad if my children didn't use those gifts. I would be upset, because the power that we hold, I don't think we understand. Like, this is the type of stuff that is talked about in ancient, religious texts and shit. Like, I don't think, especially growing up in the church, that we realized we had the same capabilities as these prophets and these healers and these, all these different gifts that people in ancient religious times, who were more in tune with the earth and more in tune with the knowledge and the wisdom of their traditions, like, we didn't realize that we had the same stuff, because we've been without it for so long that genetically the knowledge was not there. Not as fresh anyway. The knowledge is always there. It's in our DNA. Yeah. man, it's a potent thing, especially for us as black folks. I don't know if y'all can hear me still, but yeah, us as melanated folks, we are something special and have been for some time. And when we truly realize that, like we talk about it, you know, the collective is on the surface of it, of the understanding of what melanin is in its various forms, why it makes us what we are. But you know, it's something we have to discover for ourselves. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. It's just that time of aloneness is super necessary. It's so many good things come out of social media. Yeah, and I have no patrons right now, but I'm not worried. I'm not thinking about that even. Like I just know that's where I'm supposed to be, and that's where I'm gonna be. If I'm posting for a year and no one reads my stuff, that's just what it's gonna be. Because I'm expressing gold from my soul. I'm expressing art that is priceless to me, and so I'm not going to give it away for free anymore. I'm just not, because I understand my gifts and how precious they are. That's the message that I was given last year. I believe it was June. The ancestors gave me that message that our gifts will become our currency. Our gifts will become our currency. And that we should be developing those gifts, not just thinking of random ways we can make quick money and doing things outside of our design or outside of how we should be. Oh yeah, absolutely. Because it's not even money. It's not even like, it's just fiat. It's just paper. Yeah. It's not backed by any actual commodity. It used to be backed by gold. Now it's just paper. It's basically IOUs. And so when when we go back, I should say, to the future of trading in, gold and silver and even cowrie shells or some shit, you know what I mean? Like when we go back to trading in sunflower seeds or, coconuts or whatever, things will be a little different because, we're basing it on something physical. And that is the downfall. That is where this society went wrong. They understood the concept of Wi-Fi and the internet and the Ethernet and, 3G, 4G, 5G, all that kind of stuff. Exactly, belief in it gives it value. But once they went into all of this wireless living, that was the beginning of the downfall of this civilization, in my opinion. And the reason why I say this is because we lost the value. We lost the ability to understand the value in that which is physical. Everything's digital and streamed over whatever connection in the ether, and it's amazing, right? But we lost the connection to the earth. So when I say physical, I'm talking about the earth, the things that come out of it, the things that we have to dig for, that we have to work for, that we have to, everything's become so easy. We have smartphones and we have this and that, like things that make life so easy. And yet life is becoming so hard because we don't know how to do anything. All we know how to do is turn on an electronic that does everything for us. And we've stopped working with the earth. We've stopped touching the ground. We've stopped going to the park, to touch the trees and to be around the animals, and like the connection. Not even that you have to be doing anything significant to connect with the earth, but just walking on it, right? Just being around it in the atmosphere. We don't realize and understand how the atmosphere is speaking to us in such subtle frequencies, such subtle communications that we get from the prana in the air, that we get from the leaves just breathing out what is it? Is it carbon dioxide? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. I don't know why my brain is not working on that right now, but the trees breathing out with their essence, and we breathe it in, and we breathe out our essence, and they breathe it in. That symbiotic relationship between ourselves and the rest of the planet, just on an unseen connection. Not even talking about, like I said, putting your hands in the ground or constantly gardening or anything like that. Just walking amongst the earth, as opposed to being inside a vehicle or a building with windows with shades on it and all this stuff. We've changed our DNA over so long because we've been so acclimated to being inside that it's going to be difficult for us when we're forced to get back in touch with the earth. It's going to be very difficult because we have gotten so comfortable with the wireless, with the unseen, right? And it's definitely irony. The waves really interrupts transmission. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. Absolutely. I'm almost angry at myself when I think about that. And the reason why is because when we were younger, seriously, yeah. When we were younger, you're old enough to understand this, right? I think you're 34 or something. But when we were younger, we didn't have cell phones. We had radio. We didn't even have computers like this. And though they were developing stuff, I'm sure, and they had the prototypes and all of that, like everything, there was nothing wireless. It was all direct connection, hardware. And I'm almost angry with myself because I didn't take advantage of that time consciously. Of course, I was being raised a certain way, or we just didn't know, or whatever. But now when I try to tap in, I can only imagine what it would have been like if the me of today was trying to tap in 1990. You know what I'm saying? Like, or in 1987, when none of this shit was around. Like, what kind of stuff would I have been able to download from the atmosphere, from the earth, from whatever? Like, see, that ain't fair. Oh, they finna come ask me about some shit. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hey, how's it going? Hold on one sec. I'll be right back. I'm gonna log back in.